guys, Junky here, and we're back with more Arevaci gameplay. I got it wrong in the last video, but it's the Arevacis, which are seem to be the better Spanish barbarian tribe that I've seen so far. They have much better heavy units and actually unit variety in general. I'm fighting the Romans today. It's probably going to be more relevant for me to check his army first. He's got 3 units of scorpions, very expensive. 2 units of elephants, 3 units of Praetorian cavalry, 5 units of these levies, and 5 hastati. So he's dropped some serious cash on his artillery and horsemen. I, on the other hand, went for a little bit more of a balanced build. I've got 4 units of these Iberian skirmishers up the front with a Iberian spearmen on either side. These guys are pretty dooky. You can see that they're wearing tunics. They don't really have that much in the form of armour on either side. And then I bought a main sword, a contingent of, is that 5 Scutari, and a noble fighter unit to back them up. And for my general, I've got another noble cavalry, and I've got 2 noble cavalry and 1 Celtiberian cavalry as well. I do believe these are kind of the middle range of what you can get for the Spanish horses. I'm just going to call them Spanish because it's easier. Got my units all spread out to take the least amount of damage from his artillery as possible, and we'll get the battle started. When you compare it to the last battle, I've gone for a slightly different setup, and to be honest, the battle that I showed you before was actually the second battle that I played that night. This is the first one, and I learned pretty hard in this battle that you need to have something with a little bit more punch, even though I'm facing quite an odd build. I mean, you can see he's got quite a few upgrades on these Hastati, so they're not going to be slouches by any means. But the main aim for this one was to somehow try and isolate these scorpions, get them down, and somehow focus down these elephants, because my infantry is just nowhere near the right quality to even be able to stand up to these guys. So you'll see, well, let's just go around to my side, it might be easier. Got my either flank of horsemen spread out very, very far away from my own lines. It's probably the first mistake I make, actually. Probably should have had them flanking, but close enough to support. You see he's got hastati up here in Testudo, which you don't really see that often. Come to think of it, if I'd actually managed to get a cavalry charge on one of these guys in Testudo, my god, that would have been devastating. Second mistake is bounding up too far forward. At this point, I'm far too close to actually run away from his elephants and his cavalry, but he is rightfully wary of my skirmishers, so I managed to save myself that time. On the right flank though, he's closing in fast, and he's fully committing to this attack. It turns out that one of my skirmishers was actually a slinger's unit, so that's probably why he's more heavy on this side. Move up one of my spears to assist. At the time I was thinking that they were going to be pretty decent, but looking back on it, they're about 200 denarii unit, which is just throwaway against anything like Praetorian cavalry or elephants. A third mistake, move up my skirmishers to engage his, rather than keeping them on the flanks to engage his elephants, which was the main purpose of me bringing them. That allows him to charge in one of his units of Praetorians into my slingers, routing them instantly. My Iberian spearmen get routed instantly by his Praetorian cavalry, and his elephants pin down this unit of noble horse. Back on the left side, one of his elephants charges right into my Scutari. Bad news. His Praetorians just wipe out this Iberian spearman unit, just completely halving its health on the charge, with not much to show for kills. And at this point I'm kind of thinking I'm pretty fucked, so I start throwing all my sword infantry forward. I know that I can beat his Hastati if I get into the fight. I know I can beat his infantry. That was a given in this fight. I've got more and I've got better infantry. What I don't know anything about is how I'm going to deal with the aftermath, because I've got nothing to take down his elephants. He's running right through all my skirmishers. My cavalry is currently engaged with his scorpions or getting ganked by Praetorians. This match is a bit of a mess, I'm going to be honest. One of these sword units routes, no, one of my Scutari units routes straight away. Send in this noble fighters unit as well as this noble horse into the back of these Hastati. That's probably the only decent thing I did whole game, was get that double charge going. That routes those 3 units pretty much straight away. My general was isolated, charged these scorpions, didn't even get any of them off them, which is annoying. And then tries to take down these skirmishers. I'm just trying to get any advantage that I can at the moment. So I'm holding steady, but losing pretty badly. And I try to get these skirmishers. I'm trying to click walk orders away from these elephants, but boom, here they come, smashing through. Now, this is the most important thing about this match so far. These slingers have survived. You'll see how important they are as the battle progresses. I managed, when his horsemen run away to assist the rest of his Praetorians, I get my noble horse and remaining Scutari unit into his skirmishers, and that completely routs them off the field. So he's got no skirmishers left apart from his artillery, which are, in my eyes, a complete fucking waste of money. At this point, clean up here, stay away from his elephants, win this fight. These noble fighters are fresh, they are elite, and they are on the fucking headhunt, so they are going to be doing some damage. We've got so much stuff stuck in on this unit. We've got a unit of Hastati, elephants, Praetorian cavalry, another unit of Praetorian cavalry, and these noble fighters just flip them the bird and stand their ground. These guys do so well. So do these Scutari actually. They stand for a long time against these African elephants. As for my unit of noble horse or noble cavalry, I managed to catch out one of his Praetorian cavalry units while it's isolated and get a charge in and rout those off the field. My noble fighters almost routed. They're exhausted. They're exactly at half numbers, and they're fighting elephants. And yes, you are seeing them step forward into the brink. They just don't give a fuck. They're literally, you see this arc of death around the initial fight. He's going to charge over these other elephants to try and get me out. But look, my skirmishers have returned. The slingers are going to start raining stones down on these poorly armoured elephants that have taken a lot of hit point damage already in the extensive fight that they've had. So they're going to be going out quite easily, you're seeing, with the shots that I'm throwing and sword damage. These elephants do not stand, and they rout off the field. Now, that is possibly one of the closest games of Rome that I've played, and if you look at the units involved, when you're facing two pretty much fully, well, they're not fully health because they've taken a lot of damage, but the last units that you're facing are elephants, and you have one sword unit, one slinger unit, and a horse unit. In my eyes, I don't give myself that much confidence in that fight. Does it show the screen? Yes, it does. So I deployed a lot more. Lost pretty much about the same. It was just the slingers at the end, after the elephants had taken their toll on my army. So that was it. That was the first battle. Quite a messy one. There's not really much to learn from that, apart from try and keep some slingers alive, or just kind of, well, I've made a lot of mistakes, but you've got to bound your army forward confidently, but don't be too aggressive. I got too close. I had my slingers. I outranged his skirmishers. Scorpions are shit. I probably could have done a lot more damage to his elephants, but there we go. A victory is a victory. We can't turn our nose up at that, can we? So that is it for this battle. what's in the works on this channel, and probably the Tyrants actually, is we're going to be doing a co-op campaign of Hannibal at the Gates. I'm going to be playing as the Arevaci probably, and I think Cooper wants to play as Carthage, so that'll be very interesting actually. So if you want to see that, and if you want to see any more of our content, we've got some Napoleon Darth Mod on the way. That should be up in a few days, and a lot more Total War and just generally gaming content. So if that sounds like you're a cup of tea, please leave a like, comment, and maybe even subscribe if you deem it worthy, so you can see what we get up to in the future. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Junky, signing off for now. Goodbye.